Welcome, everyone. My name is Susan Allan, and I am thrilled to be with you today. This is a very, very special event. Many of you have asked that we have a medical doctor on the show explaining from a medical standpoint what is possible to see, the changes with patients. And in our case, we have an incredible guest. We have a phenomenal guest. We have Dr. Patty DiBlasio. She's a medical doctor. She's the co-founder of Speranza Clinic in San Clemente, California. And what's remarkable about Patty is that she had different health challenges. She did many, many things, as so many of us have, to solve those challenges. And then she was introduced to Lifewave, and you'll hear all about it. So welcome, Patty.
Thank you so much. I'm glad to be here. Look forward to it.
I'm so thrilled. Everybody's so thrilled. And Marcy, you are always our beloved, leader, our fearless leader, literally. And I am so thrilled to have you with us today, as always. Welcome.
Thank you so much for having me. You know, I adore this show.
So let me tell you a little bit more about Dr. Patty DiBlasio. So I find it so fascinating, Patty, that you were the medical director at Tesla. Of course, everyone knows Tesla. You were the medical director at Bayer Pharmaceuticals, which is a gigantic pharmaceutical firm. You were a physician at Kaiser. You have so many different qualifications, and yet you have an open mind, a visionary mind. And for me, that makes you a very, very, very special medical doctor. So that's what we're going to hear about today. So we're going to hear about, well, the way you heard about Lifewave fascinated me because you have a patient whose OBGYN told her about Lifewave for pain. And we'd love to hear about that. Let's start there.
Okay, great. And I love this venue because we're talking together really just as friends and colleagues. I am a medical doctor, but I'm not giving any, help for certain diseases or anything like that. We're just talking about the way that we've seen personally. And I have some huge personal stories to tell you about Lifewave's benefits for me, my husband, some of my family members, and my patients. And so I really look forward to sharing with you about how I got involved in Lifewave through a patient. And that's what I love, because as doctors, we should listen to our patients. And I listened to her. She was telling me about some jaw pain that she'd had, dental pain resulting from dental work, and how much the IceWave patch had helped. And then I began to listen more and do more research. And that's how I got into it myself.
Let's talk a little bit more about what's your view on stem cells, and what's the difference, in your opinion, between stem cells that you may get at a clinic and these stem cell activation patches, which are Lifewave?
Yes, well, my clinic used to offer that option of stem cell injections and IVs. And I actually have had stem cells myself, so as my husband, some of my family members, in addition to my patients. And I think stem cells are amazing. In fact, that's why I was so interested in the Lifewave patches. When I saw that there were some that stimulated our own stem cells to behave better than they do sometimes as we get older. So I'm thrilled that I have this option now, because regular stem cells that we used to use and are no longer able to use them as of a little over a year ago in the United States, I was so disappointed we couldn't continue to use them. The patches are such an inexpensive way to get this in. No side effects that we know of, basically, that we can see. And it's just so wonderful to be able to use these patches so they're accessible to everyone.
One of the things everybody wants to know, just as a general answer, Patty, how are people responding when you say to your patients, I've got something that's brand new, and I've got something that actually, well, we know this company's been around for 20 years, but for most of your patients, it's brand new. How do you address that? Because there are a lot of doctors who ask that question.
Well, I tell them that this is something new for me. I've only been doing it for about 3.5 months. I tell them that I always try to vet things that I recommend to my patients, if it's something at all that's, halfway applicable to me. And so I tell them that I didn't know. I was a little skeptical that this could be, even though I saw that there was over 70, 80 studies done by an amazing man who is the head of our company. But I said, I just want to see how this works. And I'm super sensitive. So I wondered, is this going to cause me side effects? But I was so excited that there was actually no medicine in there to cause me side effects. And so I began to try. And so I tell them, it's a little bit of my story, how it was amazing the way it worked for me initially. And that's why I'm sharing it with them for their specific issues that they have and we discuss.
Beautiful. And this fact that you used to provide stem cell treatments to your patients, and as you told us, you had stem cell treatments yourself. Your sister had them. You gave them to your husband. You had, the best that anybody knew to solve problems was stem cell treatments at one point. Tell us how you made that shift.
So I was disappointed when that option was removed by the FDA from our functional medicine clinics. And I didn't really know exactly what I might do to fill it. However, I was also using injectable peptides with myself and my patients. And that was another thing that drew me to Lifewave, was the fact that these patches, X39 in particular, is what stimulates our GHK copper peptide pathway. And I was using that as an injectable. And I thought, wow, what a much better way to just be able to put on a patch. I've got one on here right now. And it was so much less expensive, no needles. And I figured, gosh, I could make this something available to all my patients, not just the ones that weren't afraid of needles. So I was excited about having that option.
Thank you. That's a really huge point. The fact that these are non-invasive. That's a big, big, big thing. And Marcy, I don't know if when I was having a Zoom challenge, did you explain the X39 and the X49 yet?
No, I haven't.
Cool. I'd love you to do that.
Well, it's interesting because Dr. Patty does such a good job at explaining in her clinic how she uses GHK copper peptide. And what's interesting is the X39, as Dr. Patty says, is a non-transdermal patch, which means that looks like this, almost like a Band-Aid. And when you open it up, inside is this white organic crystal made out of amino acid, sugar, salt, and water. And it turns out that we have this low-grade infrared light coming off of our body. And when you put this patch on your skin, it reflects back a light wave and it elevates, you ready for this? GHK copper peptide, the exact peptide that Dr. Patty was using. And that actually activates your stem cells, makes more stem cells, and resets your stem cells to a younger, healthier state. And what else I love is that Dr. Patty was talking about how in the US, stem cell injections are, you no longer can do that. And so can you imagine when she found a patch that actually elevates a peptide she uses that actually activates your stem cells? Now, what I think is very interesting is Dr. Patty also said that these stem cells are like honing birds in that when you have a stem cell, they look for inflammation and they go in and they have the unique ability to change into whatever cell your body needs for repair. So I love to think about a bird honing in to where you need to repair. She also said by the time we're like 60, we've lost all our stem cells already. By the time we're 30, we've lost half. We know this because when we were 20, we looked great. We had no gray hair. We had no wrinkles. We didn't have, whatever issue you have right now. And we all have something. I'm a breast cancer survivor, so I've had an issue. I broke my hand, by the way, and now it's out of its cast. Look at that. And it can move, which is amazing. And I did not need surgery. I mean, that's just the craziness of these stem cell activation patches. I have been putting them on my body in my hand every single day for 4 weeks. I've always worn them, but more on the injury. And the reason I did that is I remember Dr. Patty telling me, I love this, stem cells are like a hummingbird. It's gonna go find the inflammation and fix it. Well, trust me when I say I had a ton of inflammation on that hand. And so that's really how they work. You wear them 12 hours on to activate and repair and 12 hours off. Because they're light, they are a signal. So your whole body's light. You can wear these patches really anywhere. A lot of people put it right below the back of their neck or under their belly button, but any spot will do, right? So that's why I put it on my hand. Obviously, I popped the spot I was having issues with, right? The only rule is 12 hours on, 12 hours off, because if you wear them 24 hours at a time over and over and over again, your body gets used to the light and it doesn't work so well. So remember, we are wearable light technology. Our own body is light activating this. And it's a form of photobiomodulation, which means light making change in the body. Lastly, I'll say we know that's true now because when you go to Dr. Patty's office, she probably has red light. She probably has lasers. Like doctors are now using light. So that's the X39. Do you want me to move into the X49 or wait for a bit?
Yeah, wait for a bit. Wait for a bit. That's a good idea.
Perfect.
Because what we really want to start talking about is these amazing protocols that Patty created and Marcy dispersed to us, right? That's how they came to be, I believe. Is that right, Marcy?
Dr. Patty was
Beautiful.
telling me about the protocols for her clinic that she wanted to use. And yes, so that is true.
Beautiful. Thank you.
So the protocols that we've put together make it really nice and easy for you to show your patient a package. And I think that package is really good because it will help them to have more success, I think, from the beginning. And so in each one of these, we have some similar, and then we have something different depending on what is the client or the patient or the friend or whatever some of their main problems. So the pain and repair protocol uses X39 and X49. Both of those help us to release more stem cells and to make our current stem cells that we have. I only have a few left that aren't working too well. As I get older and as you get older, so they help us. X39 and 49 help our stem cells to be activated and to behave well, is what I like to say. And then we have the Eon patch, and the Eon helps to lower inflammation. So it works perfectly in tandem with the X39 and 49 so that it decreases inflammation, and therefore those stem cells can go to all the areas that they need to go to more easily. And then we have Icewave in this particular pain and repair. And the Icewave patch is the one that it's going to help you with your pain, while the X39 and 49 are helping that root cause of the pain to be diminished.
Beautiful. Thank you so much. And Dr. Patty, would you give us an example, either your own or your sister or one of your patients who's finding really great relief with the pain relief protocol?
Sure. So my sister's found some great relief with her knee, and also with some other issues that she has, some neuropathy issues on her feet. And it's been wonderful. I have another patient that's gotten a lot of relief from pain in her neck, the one I mentioned before about jaw pain. And for me, I actually have a diagnosis of multiple sclerosis, and I have pain at night when I sleep, and I'm able to use the whole body pain approach. And it's just marvelous. The first night I used it, I had about a 50% reduction. And within 2 or 3 nights after that, I had an 80%, and it has sustained now for about 3 months at night. I can't tell you what a benefit that is for my sleep and just my overall well-being.
So beautiful. And would you tell us where you place the patches? Because that's a big question that most people have.
It is, and that's what I love about the Lifewave website, and also the little booklets that you get with your patches. But the IceWave in particular, I tell my patients, you need to go to the website and you scroll down, you click on usage, and you'll see instructions that are written and videos to watch. That's what I did, and I got a lot of ideas from that. So the whole body pain, my sister who just had knee pain, she used one patch of the IceWave on one side of her knee and one patch on the other. And they're two patches, they're connected electrically. One looks white and one looks brown. And so you put them a little bit opposite each other on the knee, or you put that brown right on the worst pain, and then you put the white around almost like a clock, and you can try it out in different locations. For me, I used two patches on the bottom of my feet, and I used two patches on the top of my shoulder. So it covers my pain basically, and I like it.
So when you say two, are you saying you're using 4 IceWave, so 2 whites and 2 browns?
So if you have whole body pain, you need to use 4 so that you sort of surround that pain with the electrical signals. You always use white on right side for whole body pain, brown on left. So that's what I do here. And then on the bottom of your feet, these are special acupuncture points that we're using for pain. And you use the white on your under your foot, on the bottom of your right foot, and then the brown under the bottom of your left foot. Yes.
Thank you. And, thanks to you, Dr. Patty, we went from 9 pain relief protocols to 10 pain relief protocols. Now I'm going to write up what you've just said, or you can do it and send it to me. Now, everybody, we will have 11 pain relief protocols for you. And this makes a gigantic difference, because there's nothing that makes life less wonderful than pain, right?
For sure. For sure.
And with Lifewave patches, every single person I know who used to have pain, past tense, no longer does. As long as they use the Lifewave patches that are appropriate to the kind of pain they have, as long as they follow the protocols. So it's a miracle. Okay, now, Marcy, if you would now speak about the next patch, the X40. The X40.
Absolutely. By the way, wasn't that a great explanation of the pain and repair protocol? I learned so much from Doctor.
Yeah.
So the X49 is, like Doctor said, another stem cell activation patch. It activates the daughter peptide of GHK called AHK. It turns out that it looks like a Band-Aid, but once again, it's that light therapy. And what's interesting about AHK, that peptide really houses in your muscles, the muscles in your body, in your brain, in your heart. And when you activate AHK, you build lean muscle mass. You can burn fat 10% in 60 days. I believe Dr. Patty showed me a research study that actually shows that David Schmidt did, which is amazing. It also grows bones. What woman doesn't need that? And it shields from internally from cell phone radiation. Lastly, because it's a protection of the muscles in the heart and the brain, it's very organ protective for the heart and the brain. So X49, I like to say, is all about having that hot body plus brain and heart support plus cell phone radiation support. I call it X49 the plus plus plus, where X39 is turning into the cells your body needs for repair. So one is more reparative and the other one gives you all that strength. And so that's why I believe Dr. Patty, and she could tell me, made the pain and repair protocol X39, stem cell activation for repair, X49, stem cell activation for that lean muscle mass, Eon, which reduces inflammation, and Ice Wave to break the pain. What a great combination. And I believe most people wear X39 right below the back of their neck, Eon right next to it, X49 under the belly button, and Ice Wave to block the pain, whether locally or as Dr. Patty did for full body. Now, also, your whole body's light, so any spot will do. So what happened on my wrist? Do you think I put X39, X49, Eon, and Ice Wave? I popped the spot right there. You better believe I did. That's okay too. Go back to you, Susan.
Thank you so much, Marcy. So next, Dr. Patty, let's have you talk about the hormone and digestion protocol. And I want everybody to know that the SP6, it eliminated my chocolate addiction. I have had a chocolate addiction my whole life. Both of my parents had the same addiction. My father was a surgeon. He almost died in medical school from anaphylactic shock from chocolate. But did that teach me? No, because the addiction was so strong. And luckily, he was in medical school. So they, gave him a shot of adrenaline. He was fine. But boy, nobody wants to have an addiction to anything, including a food. And thanks to SP6, I'm literally cured. I don't even remember what the fascination was. So, Dr. Patty, if you would explain this protocol to us, please.
Sure. So we use the foundation for every one of these protocols. We have the foundation of X39, X49, Eon. So again, X39 and 49 are our stem cells, patch activators. Eon is our anti-inflammatory. And then we use, for this particular one for hormones and digestion, we use the SP6. And the SP6, you say, well, wait a minute now, it takes away cravings, maybe even could reduce appetite. But what about maybe somebody that doesn't have that problem? Well, I don't know too many people that don't have a problem, but I guess it's because I crave sugar. So I'm right in there with everybody else. But SP6 is also very supportive for digestion and for supporting our hormones. And we know that when our hormones are off, often we crave sugar. We know when our hormones are off in the afternoon, we sort of don't feel so good and we start eating. And so it makes sense that digestion, hormones, and the whole idea around appetite control and food addiction, they're connected. And I love the SP6, and you put it on a very different place in the body. There's a little video on the website that shows you, but it's above your left inside ankle, the left side. And it's where that little tender spot is there that most of us have along that bone. And that's where I put the SP6. And I believe it has definitely helped me with my sugar craving. Some days I literally think, I don't even remember what that felt like. So very special to me.
Thank you. And it's so exciting, I think, for many people who are watching us to know here, Dr. Patty said the same thing that I did, that we can't remember what that fascination was all about. Just can't remember. Beautiful. And now, Marcy, if you would tell us about the Alavita trio, and then we'll have Dr. Patty speak about the protocol for skin and DHA.
Absolutely. So this is one of my favorite patches, and I can't wait for Dr. Patty to talk about the protocol that goes with it, but it is called Alavita. And I just started wearing this recently when I watched David Schmidt's video. And if you go to youtube.com, search Lifewave Health, search David Schmidt Alavita, David Schmidt X39, David Schmidt X49. He does 1 hour videos on all the products, which is amazing. So I watched it. And boy, what he said about Alavita was amazing. First of all, you're supposed to put it right between your two eyebrows. And I do that when I go to bed, just because a couple times I wore it out. People give me funny looks, so I quit doing that. So I wear that to sleep. And what it does is it reduces oxidative stress within 5 minutes. I know what oxidative stress is. It's free radical damage that destroys our cells and is caused by the food we eat, the toxins in the environment. But even honestly, Susan, the energy it takes to move a body, the exhaust, so to speak, is free radicals causing oxidative stress. So when he said that this patch reduces it in 5 minutes, I started listening. But then he got me with the energy scan on the video. It showed someone with a dark purple energy read with holes in it. 5 minutes of Alavita, it turned to this beautiful solid turquoise. I said to myself, I want my energy to look like that. And I started putting it on. And that's why, look at the color. It's no coincidence that the packaging is that gorgeous turquoise. So the other thing that patch does, not only reduces oxidative stress, but it builds collagen. And I believe that this, along with X39 building collagen, is the reason we're glowing. It's the reason us women who are, I don't know, I'm 55, I have a tight chin and I have no turkey neck. I should have a turkey neck. I'm not kidding, right? So I'm loving that. And the skincare night cream and day cream that David makes to go with it, I started using because in the video he said, I know that the skin is the biggest organ in the body and it goes, anything in the skin goes right to my bloodstream. I want a clean cream. I like that. I want a clean cream. I thought, that's good. And so this cream has algae oil in it, which is the same oil of our skin. That's why it goes right into our skin. It has fat soluble vitamin C and milk peptide protein, which is super good for building collagen, and hyaluronic acid, which is super good. I mean, that's the stuff that you guys spend hundreds of thousands of dollars on to build. This does it, right? And here's the great thing. You can get this kit. It's the Skincare Alavita kit. And you get 2 of these sleeves, which is a 2-month supply, a night and a day cream for $150. It's such a good deal that I started just buying the kit every time I needed more Alavita, because it was like getting cream for free. I was joking with Dr. Patty as we've become friends now. I said, Patty, I'm using the cream on my legs now. She said, me too. Anyway, it was pretty cute. So I'm loving Alavita.
Yes, it's amazing.
I'm so excited to hear you say that you're using it on your legs. Why did I not think of this? I stopped using very, very, very expensive custom-made skin creams that were the only things I found that, helped in any way at all. And I stopped using them because this is so much more effective. This is so much better. And the price, by the way, is a fraction of what I was spending. So that's very cool.
That's why you can use it on your legs now.
Brilliant.
Thank you. When you need more sleeves, instead of buying these singly, buy it in the kit, 2 of these, plus a day and a night cream for $150. I can use it on my whole body. It's that reasonable.
Beautiful. Thank you, both of you, for this. This is great. And now, Patty, if you would tell us about the protocol and, probably tell us about a patient and what you've seen with this protocol or yourself.
Sure. I like the cream, and I even put it on my nails. I put it on my toenails as well as my fingernails. I put it on my feet. There is something about, I think it's just what we call a liposomal, meaning that it's just easily moved into the skin. It makes it very soft and creamy, and it's such a reasonable price for the value, and it's easy. It's just 1 day cream, 1 night cream. I've had skin regimens before where you've got 4 or 5 things, you're having to do all this stuff, and it's just those 2 things, 1 in the morning, 1 at night. So I do really like it. And so that's why I recommend it to patients. When they first start with the patches in the first protocol, we use the X39 and 49, the Eon, and the Alavita, so that they can get the benefit of inside out, all of that beautiful inflammation, all of the buildup of good antioxidants in the skin. And then the cream is the next step, because that's from the outside in. And when you're doing both at the same time, I've seen a powerful benefit, and I'm hoping that my patients will see that as well.
And may I ask, Susan, I love the skincare program so much because of the antioxidant of Alavita with the cream. But Dr. Patty, I also fell in love with glutathione in my skincare program, because what I found, and we haven't even talked about that, I hope you will touch on that. What I found, when you activate your glutathione pathway, it's your master detoxification. So I think I'm getting all the yuck out of my body. Then I'm protecting myself with Alavita, and then I'm making my skin so soft with the cream. What do you think of that, Dr. Patty?
Right. No, I think it's very important. The glutathione is our master detoxer. And the thing that's amazing about the glutathione patch is, again, no drugs, no chemicals, nothing is in there. It is simply having you stimulate your own glutathione pathway in the body. And that way, most people can tolerate. I've used glutathione with patients, and you can even use it at the end of a vitamin IV as a push. But the problem with that is sometimes the patients can have a little reaction, maybe a rash or some nausea, or maybe not absorb it. It's hard to absorb by mouth. And so this way, you're getting it directly right here, wherever. In fact, this is what I have on today, is a glutathione patch right here. And I have a sore wrist, a bit like Marcy, we've had sore wrists. And so this right here is, I believe, truly important for the pain. It's detoxing whatever's going on with this inflammation. And it definitely helps with pain as well, but it's our master detoxer.
Thank you. That is so important. And when I first learned from Marcy was using all these different patches. And so I'm using all these different patches. And of course, Dr. Patty, you are as well. And when you look at this pain relief protocol, and for any of you watching, you can either ask Marcy for it via email, or you can ask me for it. Love to send it to you, and the pain relief protocol as well, which will soon be 11 different pain relief protocols with today's new one added.
And Susan,
Yes.
There's two sites that people can go to for more information. They can go to startx39.com and see everything about the X39 stem cell activation patch. But they can also go to a site called startx39biz.com under input order. In that take order. In that section, there is a price list, and there is the protocol. And there's a one-page all product that has every product we make with the placements added. And once again, that's at startx39biz.com under take the order. I believe that's under tab 9. And many of the practitioners on this call go to that tab, print those out, and they have the forms they need to set up their offices. So that's worked out really good. There's Doctor, there's her. She's already set up all her clinics with the protocols from startx39biz.com under take the order. Thank you so much.
These are fabulous websites. I've spent hours and hours and hours on your sites, Marcy. They are spectacular. They are so informative, and basically at a finger's touch, you can have everything you need for your friends, or in the case of Dr. Patty, for her patients.
It's funny you should say that, because I wanted a website where documents could easily be texted to folks, could just be opened and printed. I don't know about you, but I just do not like sending emails with document after document after document. So I created that database as an easy way for us to grab whatever we need.
And now, speaking of Dr. Patty and setting up all her protocols, I would love, and I'm sure most of you would as well. You told me, Dr. Patty, that you have a patient who had a heart attack, had a stent, and we'd love to hear how the patches helped.
So I guess it's a little early to say for sure how all of that's going to help because the patient's still waiting blood work and some other things. But the patient, I would say his favorite patch is carnosine. And we haven't talked about carnosine yet, but carnosine is very important for the heart. And I've even heard, I think, was it you, Marcy, that said you put carnosine sometimes literally over your heart. So you can put it different places, but it is also very good for inflammation. It is helpful for heart. And so this patient, I have him on X39, 49, Eon, and then it depends on day or night, but carnosine and glutathione are the two main ones that we're alternating during the day.
Thank you. And of course, for those of you who are older, which is to say like my age, the carnosine is remarkable for the older brain. It is astounding.
You know, I would
Because
even say, Susan, that protocol Patty just gave to you would be a brain and heart protocol and support every organ in the body. If I may say that one more time, it's so special. I believe this is what she said, Susan. X39 for stem cell activation, X49 for brain and heart support, carnosine for brain, heart support, and all organ support, Eon for inflammation, and glutathione for detox. That's a powerful combination, Susan and Dr. Patty. Thank you.
It is. And I will say that this patient is a runner and runs every day. And so, of course, initially was told that it would be at least a month before he could even start basically walking much. And he is already up to almost where he was with running before the heart attack. So he's making super progress. So I think that's a very good sign.
it's wonderful. And one of my clients in my other business was going into a triathlon. And so this was the perfect opportunity to introduce her to the Lifewave patches. So she was sure to use the X39 and the Eon. That's what she wanted to use. And she used them before, during, and after. And she put on some extra Eons after the triathlon. Not only did she not suffer, but within a few days, she went on a camping trip. And on the camping trip, they all went on this long, long, long run. And, you know, she smilingly lived to tell the tale. I mean, to me, after a triathlon, I thought, okay, she'll be at home or maybe even in bed. Who knows, right? Because she's not in her 30s. She's not in her 20s. So it's just amazing what these patches do for athletes. It's remarkable. And now, Patty, if you tell us you have a patient who has long COVID symptoms and a cough. So tell us about that.
Yes. So this particular patient had been to many, many different functional medicine clinics. Sometimes we call those holistic or regenerative, but the clinic where you really try to get to the root of the problem, and just not had a lot of success. And so I recommended that we try these patches initially because I thought it might be helpful to her. Again, I wanted to do X39 and 49 and Eon. Those are my foundational patches. And then I thought carnosine might be particularly helpful because she was having brain fog that many people do have with long COVID. And of course, lots of inflammation. So we're helping to treat that with Eon. And she said, one of the funny things that happened, she said, I really feel like I'm getting better. And she said, I can't believe it because I've just sort of had lost hope. But she said that she noticed that she had a number of different scars on her body. And she said that they either had gone away or diminished so much that you could hardly see them. And she said, I can't even believe this, but I had to report it to you because it seemed so unusual to me. And so many other patients have seen that too.
Exactly. And I had a tummy tuck, which is a very, very long scar. And I was equally stunned when I just happened to notice it, maybe 3 months into using the X39, a tiny white line instead of the unfortunate keloid scar that hadn't gone away, even with the injections I had had, like 3 or 4 injections to get rid of the swelling, which hadn't helped. Boy, the X39, because this was long before the X49 was available, gone. So this is the gift that keeps on giving, Lifewave, isn't it?
And Susan, I'd like to just make a comment because we're talking about all these great patches. And I have to say that I also have fallen in love with carnosine for a couple reasons. I do put it on the heart every night, and I just feel like it's gentle. Eon, gentle giant. Carnosine, gentle giant. Silent night increases or stabilizes melatonin, gentle. But what I love about carnosine is David's story about it, which is he started, he brought carnosine out because he was actually researching animals that lived a long time. And it turns out clams and lobsters live hundreds of years. The reason that is their immune systems get stronger with age. Ours get weaker. And then he said it has to do with something called telomeres. And telomeres are like the little shoestrings or lady fingers on your DNA. As long as they're long, you live a long time. As they shorten and stub down to nothing, well, you die. And so carnosine is actually a protector of your telomeres. You guys, that is longevity at its best. So, like, once again, I am very much a lover of carnosine.
Thank you. And thank you for adding that. That's so important, Marcy. And Dr. Patty, another remarkable example that you told me about was one of your patients with Epstein-Barr. And I know that we would all love to hear that.
Yeah, so Epstein-Barr may be at the root of many of our chronic illnesses, fibromyalgia, chronic fatigue, Lyme disease. I'm in a group of Lyme-wise doctors, and I've seen this just be such a problem for people. And we do have some treatments in the functional medicine world that can be helpful. But as I began to learn, and I literally felt like I went back to medical school when I was given this idea about these patches, because I wanted to vet it. I wanted to see if there was anything about it, just like I had done with stem cells and peptides before. And so it was just, I don't know, I was just so excited about this opportunity with it, but I wanted to see if I really thought it would be good. And most of my patients all have probably at the root, and many of us believe Epstein-Barr is the root of all of this stuff. I'm not sure it's quite that simple, but if we can find ways to treat chronic fatigue and chronic pain and provide energy. So one of the key patches, I think, with this group, not only are our foundational ones, certainly our detox of glutathione, because usually patients that have these chronic illnesses have trouble detoxing. I know I did. I couldn't tolerate glutathione. It made me very weak. And so this is the first time I've been able to use glutathione in my life, and I'm just so thrilled about it. And so I felt like, though, that we needed to add the energy enhancing patches, energy enhancer. And so that is something that I have to use slowly. There are 2 patches that you actually use again for that electrical connection. And I have to use them. I can only wear them for about an hour right now each day myself, because they're incredible. And I've had some patients that have felt like themselves again. And that's a wonderful feeling, to not feel so fatigued and tired that you can't do things.
What's interesting about that, Dr. Patty, is that I believe the energy patch turns fat into energy, which of course we love, but it also activates the mitochondria in the powerhouse of your cells. So energy in your cells. And I will tell you, I just started buying the energy patch for my son who has anxiety. He his brain, he says, spins out on the same thought over and over and over again, and it can be very difficult. And once he started wearing energy, it in the morning, he said his brain restabilizes. It doesn't continue to go over and over and over. And he says at night he wears the X39, the energy, the harnessing, the Eon, and the silent night. So there's a combination that he wears. And when he wakes up in the morning, he believes it's the silent night that stabilizes his melatonin, that makes him calm, like his brain doesn't wake up racing. And he thinks it's the energy that keeps it from not racing after his day starts. I thought that was fascinating.
It is. It is. And sometimes the very thing that we think, oh, that might produce too much of that, actually is just what he needed, and it calms it. And I believe that with all my heart. I've seen that happen over and over. Something that's maybe going to do this might actually, for the person that needs it, and that's what the patches do. They try to balance what we need, right? So that's a great story for him. I'm so glad that's been helpful.
I was just so pleased because
Yeah.
energy, we were using all the other patches, but just about 2 weeks ago, we added energy in the protocol. And he says, oh my gosh, my brain, I wake up not spinning and it lasts longer now. I'm like, cool.
Yes, that is great.
I'm so glad you mentioned the energy patches, because I work with a lot of people who have had different levels of depression. And you know, when you have a ton of energy, depression disappears. Depression and energy do not coexist. So for the first 2 years that I knew about Lifewave and was using Lifewave patches, I was, of course, experimenting like Dr. Patty and Marcy and so many of you. And I never had enough energy, not because I had depression. Thank God that wasn't the issue. It was that I didn't have enough oxygen from having had asthma for decades. So anything that could give me energy, I was thrilled. So I used the energy patches, and I had so many people that I was working with use them. Everyone felt better and better and better. Now, when the X49 was made available at the end of last year, now adding that allows all of us to do whatever we want to do the first half of the day with the energy we have. And then the X49 gives us a tremendous boost at the second half of the day. And this has been reported. You know, I asked people because I found it to be true. And then it was reported to me by a lot of the people that I work with. So as long as we have enough energy, we have a different outlook in life. And of course, then adding the Nirvana patch, the endorphin patch, and the endorphin protocol, which Dr. Patty, when you come back, you'll talk about all the patches you didn't have chance to talk about today, okay?
Yes, and I want to say I have a patient that uses energy enhancer for vertigo that can plague her. And she says it's been very helpful. So it obviously is doing some good things for the brain.
Wow. This is so fascinating. You know, I do watch the shows, Marcy, that you and I do. I watch them again and again. This one, I'm going to have to watch 10 times with my notebook and transcribe all of it. And we will have all these additional protocols for you that Dr. Patty's going to develop and that Marcy's going to send to all of us and put on her websites. I'm so thrilled. So thank you, Dr. Patty, for being with us today. Just incredible, incredible information. And Marcy, as always, it is such a joy to have you with us. This is such an amazingly important, informative show. And please, when it's available on YouTube and you'll all find out, please share it with your friends, because I know in my world, everybody said to me, get me a medical doctor on your show. I want to listen to that person. And Dr. Patty, you are a dream come true.
Thank you. Thank you. I'm just thankful to be here with this dream team and with all of you that are on this, because we're in this together. to make the world a little better place and love ourselves to wellness. So appreciate all of you.
So true. And please, if you're new to Lifewave, contact the person who told you about this video. Contact the person who told you about Lifewave patches. Please do look at Speranza Clinic, and you'll have the link when this is on YouTube. You'll have all the contact information for Dr. Patty, and she practices in 3 different states. So this is a really, really wonderful gift that Dr. Patty is for all of us. And thank you again. And if you need or want the 10, soon to be 11 pain relief protocols, please send me an email. And the YouTube channel with now 30, it will be 31 shows, Marcy, 31 of our shows together. So the link for that is youtube.com/Susan Allan 2001. And my last name is Allan. So thank you, everyone. And we will see you in the second Thursday next month. And that is September 14th. September 14th, same time and a different link every time. So thank you so much. Have a wonderful day.